Hello, students. Welcome back to your online physical education classes. So, today we are going to start our Unit 7, that is your Physiology and Injuries in Sports. So, students, the topic which we are going to study in this unit are physiological factor determining components of physical fitness, that is your strength, endurance, speed and flexibility. After that, effects of exercises on cardiorespiratory system. Then effects of exercise on muscular system, and then comes your sports injuries, classification, soft tissue injuries, then heart tissue injuries. It is related to your bone and joint injuries where dislocation, fracture you have to study. And in the last, first aid and aims and objectives of first aid. So, students, before going towards your first topic, you have to know the meaning of physiology. So, physiology is a branch of science or biology that deals with the normal functions of living organism and their parts, or how living things function normally. So, then comes your sports physiology, which is related to only sports. It is the study of the long and short term effects of training and conditions on athletes. This specialized field of study goes hand in hand with human anatomy. Anatomy is about structure, where physiology is about the functions. So, there are various physiological factors that determine the components of physical fitness, such as endurance, strength, speed, flexibility. So, now we will study one by one what are the physiological factors determining endurance. So, the physiological factors that determine endurance are as follow. Number one is your aerobic capacity, in which oxygen intake, oxygen transport, and oxygen uptake. Second is lactic acid tolerance. Third is muscle composition, and fourth is your economy of movement. So, number one factor is aerobic capacity. So, it is described the functional capacity of the cardiorespiratory system, in which it involves your heart, lungs, and blood vessels. While performing any activity, muscle require energy which can be supplied by the presence of oxygen. So, for endurance performance, it is important to maintain adequate supply of oxygen to the working muscles. So, in that oxygen intake, it can improve through training. Oxygen intake is the amount of oxygen that can be taken by the lungs from the atmosphere. Then comes your oxygen transport. It can be improved also through training. So, oxygen transport is amount of oxygen taken into the blood from lungs has to be transported to the working muscles. So, which oxygen we have taken into our body, that should be transported to the working muscles. Third one is your oxygen uptake. So, oxygen uptake refers to the maximum amount of oxygen your body can consume and actually utilize at maximum exertion. So, sometimes maximal oxygen uptake is referred to as maximal oxygen consumption. So, second is your lactic acid tolerance or lactic threshold. So, as you know, lactic acid is a chemical byproduct of anaerobic respiration, and it is the process by which cell produce energy without oxygen around. So, the lactic threshold is the exercise intensity at which the lactic acid starts to accumulate in the bloodstreams. So the lactic threshold is a useful measure for deciding exercise intensity for training in endurance sports, that is for your long distance running like cycling, swimming, cross country, etc. So better lactic threshold delays fatigue and thus increase the endurance. Third factor is movement economy, or we can say economy of movement. So the economical movements are important for endurance performance, as the apex performance body movement should be economical. Good technique saves energy and improve endurance, as athletes with high exercise economy expand less energy, consumes less oxygen at any given workload. This means that some athletes just use a little less energy to do the exact same thing that other and have better endurance. Fourth factor is muscle composition. There are actually two main types of muscle fibers referred to as slow twitch and fast twitch muscle fibers. So these fibers differ in how rapidly they can generate force, the type of energy system they use, and how quickly they fatigue. So the percentage of white muscles and red muscle fibers is genetically determined and cannot be changed through training. So now comes your second physiological factor determining strength. So strength is the ability of muscles to overcome the resistance. Strength can be defined as the amount of force a muscle can exert. So as you know, strength is divided into two parts, that is static strength and dynamic strength. So now the following are the physiological factors that determine strength. Number one is muscle composition. There are two types of muscle fibers in muscles, that is, we have already studied fast twitch muscle fiber and slow twitch muscle fibers. So the muscles which consist of more percentage of fast twitch fibers will produce more strength. Second factor is size of the muscle. So students, some people have long muscles and some people have short muscles. Person with relatively long muscle have greater potential for developing size and strength than person with relatively short muscles. Thus, large the muscles are stronger the person. Third factor is body weight. So body weight is directly correlated to strength. As a general rule, someone with a higher body weight has greater strength than someone who is skinny and lightweight. This is the reason most individual sports have weight classes. A heavier weight boxer is much stronger than a lightweight boxer, and the punching power is equally different in both the cases. So fourth factor is your intensity of nerve impulse. A muscle have several motor units. The total force of the muscle depends on the number of contracting motor units. So whenever a stronger nerve impulse is sent from central nervous system to these units, the muscles will produce more force or strength. Thus, intensity of nerve impulse determines the amount of strength. So next is your speed. Speed is the ability of an individual to perform movement in the minimum possible time. So speed is related to your time. Speed has three parts, that is your reaction time, acceleration speed, and speed of movement. So from the physiological point of view, following factors determine speed. So number one factor is muscle composition. There are three types of muscle fibers, that is your number one slow twitch type 1, fast twitch type 2A, and fast twitch type 2B. So the fast twitch fiber are much better at generating short bursts of strength and speed than slow twitch fiber muscles. Thus, the greater percentage of fast twitch muscle fibers one has, the faster he is. So, if the person is having more amount of fast twitch muscle fibers, he will be good in the speed activities. Next is your explosive strength. It depends on the shape, size, and coordination of muscles. For very quick and explosive movement, explosive strength is required. The related proportion of fast twitch muscle fiber and slow twitch muscle fibers determines the maximum possible speed with which the muscle can contract. The third factor is which determine speed is flexibility. It is also determine the speed. Good flexibility allows maximum range of movements and also enable complete utilization of explosive strength. Fourth is biochemical reserves and metabolic power. So muscle require more amount of energy and high rate of consumption for maximum speed performance. For this purpose, the stores of ATP and CP in the muscle should be enough. If the store is less, the working process of the muscle slow downs after short time and the speed will be reduced.